Keeping up with our motto, let learning be a joy and teaching a pleasure, here we are with a remote teaching and learning process to bridge the gap. Happy learning, students! Today, your teacher Inacia D'Souza from Thakur Vidya Mandir High School and Junior College will teach you a lesson in English which is entitled The Souvenir. Many of us may have visited many exotic places in this world and brought something home from there. That thing in memory of the place is called as a souvenir. So what exactly is a souvenir? Do you have one? Are you fond of it? I'm sure you are. A thing that is kept as a reminder of a person, place or event is called a souvenir. It is also called as a memento. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to travel in space? I'm sure you all must be very excited about traveling to space. And travel to space is also known as space exploration. So today we are going to learn about the souvenir where we have a young girl who is just about as old as you who has this opportunity to travel to the moon. With the tip of her nose pressed to the window of the space shuttle would refer to the rocket, Sayali sat gazing at the view outside for so long, still she didn't seem to be contented. Contented means to be satisfied. She had read the description of this view several times before and had seen this scene on the video too. But this was different. Reading the description was one thing. Watching the pictures and videos captured by the camera was another. But getting an opportunity to view that amazing panorama with your own eyes, being present physically right in the midst of it, was indeed an out-of-the-world experience. No matter how long she sat gazing, her awe and wonder did not seem to abate. The earth gradually appeared to get smaller and smaller in the sky. I know, dear students, how it must feel when you read about something like, say for example, reading about London or looking at the pictures of all the amazing sights in London, then going another step forward and looking at videos about all those beautiful monuments there and the bridges there and the clock tower. And then after that, actually getting an opportunity to visit such an amazing and exciting place is like a dream come true. This was the same for Sayali. Sayali had always dreamt of going to the moon, and now she got an opportunity. Opportunity means a chance to view that amazing panorama, exciting scene of actually being on the moon, right there, stepping your foot on the moon. It's like an out of the world experience, literally out of the world because you are in space, outer space, and also it is something unimaginable and it is something which is beyond your wildest expectations. And therefore, no matter how long she kept gazing at the moon, her excitement and wonder did not seem to abate. Abate means to decrease, as the earth appeared gradually smaller and smaller. What happens is the earth here looked as tiny as a ball, as you can see it in the picture on your right. Smaller and smaller is repetition because the word smaller is repeated twice here to create an effect. The azure blue sky was now looking jet black. The clouds had disappeared. The stars were shining bright. This is what happens at night when you can see the stars shining brightly. But during the day, it's a bright blue sky. It's an azure blue sky, bright blue. And the trip to the moon was exorbitantly expensive, extremely expensive. But still, Sayali's mother had sent her on the trip. In our childhood, we could not even think of such long distance trips. The longest trip meant going to Europe. If you are getting this opportunity, make the most of it, said Mummy. Oh, Mummy, Neha's grandmother was saying that in their childhood, the longest trip for school children used to be only up to Delhi or Kolkata. It seems so funny, isn't it? Said Sayali laughing. Remembering the incident made her laugh even now. Though there are some things which are very expensive, yet we notice that our parents make a sacrifice to give it to us, and therefore we should always honor them for this great sacrifice that they make. In the same way, Sayali's mother had also made a great sacrifice in order to send her to the moon. And here there is a comparison of the longest trip according to age groups. During Neha's grandmother's time, the longest trip meant going to Delhi or Kolkata. But during her mother's time, the longest trip meant going to Europe. I think most of us may have even visited some places here. But look at Sayali. She was very fortunate because she could now set foot on the moon. It seems so funny, isn't it? Isn't it here is a question tag, and this is what was playing in Sayali's mind. Here are pictures of Europe. These are the places that were the longest trip for Sayali's mother. And here we have pictures of Delhi and Kolkata. These are the places which Sayali's grandmother or Neha's grandmother had the privilege to visit during their school days. I wonder where you would like to go on a trip this year. Let us also find out words in the previous slide which mean the following: bright, blue in color like a cloudless sky. This would be azure. I'm sure you must have guessed it. Completely dark, totally dark. And the next one is very costly. I'm sure looking at this car, you will say it's exorbitantly expensive. I have a nice quotation here which says, making good out of bad situations. I thought of this phrase because today we are all making good out of the pandemic that we are in. This pandemic has taught us to be so self-reliant and also learn a whole new world of things. Like for example, let us look at what John Wooden says. Things work out best for those who make the best of how things work out. That means we should make the most of this pandemic. We should make the best use of our God-given opportunities, and then I'm sure we will proudly be able to say how happy we are. Let's move a little forward. The receptionist at the entrance to the base gave some instructions at the very outset. Receptionist is a person who welcomes you when you enter an office, and outset means in the beginning. I welcome you all to the Neil Armstrong base. To make your stay on the moon pleasant and comfortable means happy and enjoyable. I would like you to take certain precautions. Precautions would mean preventions. Listen carefully to my instructions and please follow them during your stay. This is what we need to do if we need to stay safe. from the coronavirus, I would say in inverted commas. You know that the gravitational force of the moon is 1/6 that of the earth. In the human settlements on the moon, a gravitational force equivalent to that of the earth has been artificially maintained. Now, the place that they were staying in had a manually regulated gravitational force. It meant that it was as if they were staying on Earth. But outside those settlements, the gravitational force of the moon is at work. You will have to be extremely careful when you roam around there. But this was not the same story outside. They would have to be very careful. Let's look at certain phrases and certain words. In the beginning, at the outset, very enjoyable, pleasant, and comfortable. Unnaturally managed, artificially maintained. Here, to my right, you can see that the lioness is in an artificially maintained zoo. The second point to remember is related to shopping on the moon. You all must be interested in carrying souvenirs back home from the moon. Please buy the articles only from the shops which are inside the dome-shaped settlements. Here you can see dome-shaped settlements to your right. There you will be assured of genuine articles. Assured is guaranteed and genuine is real, not fake. Do not buy anything from unauthorized shops outside the settlement. Unauthorized are shops which are not given permission by the issuing authority. I wish you a very happy and pleasant stay on the moon. Can you look at the picture and guess the right one? For assured, look at President Trump, who is standing for elections in the month of November. Can he be assured of success? Or look at the one to your right where you have a hand sanitizer which will assure you of keeping you safe from coronavirus. Which is genuine? Here we have the pics of 2.2 leather sofas. Can you guess the right one? I know it's difficult, but the one on top, the grey one, is of genuine leather. The other one is of artificial leather. Now circle the authorized one. Here there are two sets of school children, one wearing their ID cards and the others who are not, though they are in their school uniform. So, who would be allowed access to the school? The ones who are wearing their ID card. So remember to always wear your ID cards whenever you go to school. Now, I would like you to write a letter to your friend describing about your most favorite travel experience. Second, make a wish list of the places you would like to travel to. And third, could you summarize the story so far in your own words? I'm sure you have enjoyed this lesson and you will also do this assignment. So till we meet again, I thank you for a patient listening and understanding of this lesson. Stay safe and be happy always.